name is Chijioke Okorie and I lead the Data Science Law Lab, a research group and experimental space focused on developing legal and policy approaches to supporting data science and technological innovation across Africa. One of our flagship projects is the Licensing African Datasets project, which we started with funding from the Mozilla Foundation and augmented with an earlier research gift from Meta to the University of Pretoria. At its core, the project treats licensing as sharing, which means using open and flexible legal frameworks to let others distribute, adapt, or build upon work without losing ownership rights. The project started from a recognition that the way data sets are shared matters. There's a widespread assumption that openness automatically equals equity. But in practice, in a landscape where large technology companies are systematically extracting open data to train powerful models, unconditional openness can actually accelerate the very power asymmetries it claims to resist. Innovators and researchers and communities that are working closest to the data often find themselves unable to build sustainable models. And that's precisely because they've given it away for free. Many times, communities have to pay to access models and products that are built with the data they shared for free. It's out of this recognition that we developed the Nwulite Obodo Open Data License, the NOODL license for short. It's an alternative and more equitable open license for sharing African datasets. Since 2024, has brokered a genuinely different approach to open licensing, particularly in the African context, and it's now included as a license option on many platforms. NOODL has been recognized by many as an innovation in open data licensing and has continued to fuel discussions examining where other open licenses work or don't work in African contexts. But engagement around NOODL has shown us that the license itself is only one part of a much bigger framework. And that's why the Licensing African Datasets project is now moving forward with what we call the NOODL framework, looking beyond the license to broader resources that enable context-sensitive, equitable choices in sharing African datasets and innovation more generally. This means bringing into the conversation not just dataset creators, but the data communities who constitute the original source of various forms of data, as well as researchers, companies, government bodies, and policymakers exploring more effective and more equitable data sharing framework. It also means addressing practical questions like what constitutes an appropriate benefit when sharing data, enforcement mechanisms make sense when licenses are breached, and exploring services to support those who are implementing NOODL or navigating open data sharing more broadly.